We are here live, folks. It's IlliniGuys halftime live. Ked, I am telling you one thing that I learned this half. Anybody who wants to call Ivisic soft is full of crap because that Illini defense that is 10th or 11th or 12th in the country allowed 11 layups, 11 layup attempts this half. That doesn't happen when he's in there. And I also think that we've seen two phantom fouls on Morez. I don't understand. Tony Petitti, you're the Big Ten commissioner. You've got over $1 billion coming in every year. Hire some freaking refs, train them, keep them in shape, get them better all the time. That is just you have an investment of an entertainment product. You know, a Marvel movie, they don't have me starring in them because they don't want to ruin them. Don't have bad refs. Ked, go ahead.
Mike, I'm tired of it. I am. I know people are sick of hearing it. I don't want to say I don't care anymore because that's not nice, but I don't care. I don't. I just don't. That foul on Morez Johnson, I don't know what the hell they're looking at. And it didn't affect the game. Well, it kind of did because
it hasn't yet, Ed, but he's second half.
It will. You're right. It will. Right now it hasn't, but start second half. I am tired. I'm not, to be honest with you, I know fans are going to say stuff and they're going to say, okay, the Illini guys and Kedrick's crying. I don't care enough about it. If that's what they want to put on the court and that's what they want people to look at, then so be it. It's going to be what it's going to be. It's frustrating. I feel bad, but it's not going to change. To me, right now, I'm more worried about Illinois making shots, trying to get out of here with the win. Ivisic does look sick. I can't say he doesn't, but if for the love of whatever, if he has a sore throat or anything, why in the hell is he around the team? Just go home. What is he going to do? He's not cheering. Get him home. Get him away from the team so no one else gets sick. I mean, they have enough issues because I'm sure when they play Northwestern, somebody else is going to be sick again. So just stay away, get better. You're not going to play. And so because these are the kind of games you can't lose. You lost one last Sunday to Michigan State, who clearly Illinois was a better team that day, but they didn't get to show it. But I don't want to see that right now. I'm really frustrated because just some of the things that I've seen, I'm just not okay with. I don't want to see these mental games. Jake Davis can't guard Queen. It's not an option. He cannot do it. I don't know who we're kidding. Why do we think he can? If Booth is on that bench and if he's 6'10", I don't care if Jake Davis, which he has, 3 points, I think. He may have 3 points. And if you're going to get 3 points from Jake Davis and you get nothing from Booth, but Booth is not going to give up 8 points, I'm going to ride that. I really am. And the one guy I want to see on the floor now, I want to see Draymond Gilflaughorn on the floor. I'm just going to call it. This dude has played 10 minutes and leads the team in scoring with 9 points. It's not about who should be getting more minutes. It's about win and survive and win the damn game. I don't care if Draymond, whatever the case may be, if he's on, you play him. If it's KJ, if it's Will Riley, you play to win this game. It's not about, well, I'm used to doing this because this guy's bigger and smaller matchups. That doesn't work all the time. The analytics don't always work, Mike, and I'm sorry. Right now, I'm hot.
Well, I got to be honest with you. They've got a couple things. First off, if you really are communicable, I would assume that the Illini have determined whatever he has is not something that's going to spread at this point in time. But I do think let's just make sure we don't get into a bad situation. So let's not have him around the team just in case. The other thing, when you look at this, is trying to stop Queen and Reese on the inside is going to be awfully tough. And there's a part of me that says back in the old days, you'd just use a 2-3 zone, or you would, even again, we've talked about this in the past. Underwood coached a mean 3-2 zone when he was helping Martin at South Carolina. I think I would try to use a 3-2. I just don't know how much these kids have been taught that, but boy, that's a nice zone where you can put 3 guys up front and then drop them into the back row. And maybe you need to switch up D just a little bit. I'm not talking, the whole time, but do something to keep Maryland off kilter a little bit, because right now they know, based on the 5 guys on the floor, where they're going to take the ball.
Mike, it's about win and survive. I've said
you just got to get through this game.
Yes, Mike, because what you just said makes sense. I don't care if you're a traditionally man team. Michigan State plays man all the time. Purdue plays man all the time. Illinois plays man all the time. But look at the stats. Maryland has attempted 3 3-pointers. They're over 3. Get a damn zone. If they make 1 or 2 of them, the world's not coming to an end. You're only down 3 points, man. You're down 3 points.
And I'll be honest with you, Ked, this half could have been a heck of a lot worse than down 3 points.
It should have been.
Because Illinois shot sub 40% from the field. They were at 39.4. They shot 23% from the 3-point line. And so you're looking at a team that was out-rebounded by 3. Again, could have been a lot worse. And Illinois had 6 turnovers, and then they allowed 10 points off of turnovers. And there were at least 3 really bad turnovers. So if you look at this, if you give Maryland 10 points off of turnovers, which they did, a rebounding lead, and then Maryland is shooting better than you from the field, Illinois very well could be down significantly further than this. Now, can they get into a situation where they go ahead and Yakuchonis heats up and can carry him a little bit? I don't know, but I think they've got to keep moving the ball around the way they are, and you're just going to and they've missed a lot of open looks. I'm going to sit there and say, at least at this point, that if I'm Brad Underwood, I'm like, guys, you got to start making some baskets, as opposed to don't take stupid shots. I think Illinois just has not made the baskets that they should make.
Mike, we talked about making adjustments right now. Derek Queen and Julian Reese, 27 points and 13 rebounds on, I think, 6 missed shots. You're right. They're going to do the same thing again in the second half. You cannot let them sit there. And if we want to play the analytic game, they're losing at halftime right now, 38-35. You only need 1 point to take a loss. You cannot let them continue to sit there. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, we started this halftime broadcast complaining about Merez, but I'm going to tell you, if I'm Maryland, I'm upset because I think they got holes on a couple calls. I really do. I think they got holes in a couple calls, and that went Illinois' way because they were at home. Now, maybe, I don't know, maybe they were, I don't want to say that, but whatever the reason is, you're right, it could be a lot worse. And at this point right now, like we mentioned, whatever it takes, whether it's 3-2, 1-2-2, whether it's full court, whether it's finding Trey White and that pick and roll game with KJ, whatever it takes to get it done, you need to get this win. You cannot lose at home. The conference race is doable, but it's going to be tough. But losing these games right here, every time you lose a game like this, people, I know you're aware of this, you drop in seedings. Every time you drop in a seed, that means the closer you are to playing the number 1 seed, and your chances of getting to the Sweet 16 or Final 8 or Final 4 again diminish. That's why you can't lose these games. They do matter.
No, these games are incredibly important. And I just think they've got to figure out this is now down to you got to basically survive. And so if that means you do a couple of times where you are going to go ahead and play zone for a few possessions, you may have to do that. The other thing I would like to see is, I know that Kasparis hasn't had the greatest half in the world. He's not shooting fantastic. But I do think you see when he is moving with the ball, Trey White does cut to the basket, and Jakusionis is looking to the basket. I think you got to get Trey White moving a little more, and let's pad on some assists, because KJ will get him the ball, and I think they need to be looking for that, because if White doesn't feel good, he's certainly playing hard out there.
He's playing hard. You want a recipe for winning right now? You keep Draymond Gifts-Lawhorn on the court. We need Kylan Boswell to make really good decisions with the basketball, not just chuck up threes to be shooting threes. And they have to somehow get Trey White and active again, where he's getting 15, 16 points again. If Will Riley's sick, you're probably not going to get anything out of him, but we got to keep Merez on the floor as well. I mean, Merez started and he played 8 minutes. 8 minutes because of foul trouble. So if they want to win the game, that's going to be the recipe, and also make some adjustments on the defensive end. Because if Illinois is going to go 4 for 17 for three and shoot 24% from three, and think that's going to be a recipe for win when they're shooting 24%, the numbers don't make sense. Analytically, it doesn't make sense because Maryland, like I just said, they're not missing. Reese is 7 for 13. He has 9 rebounds. He almost had a double-double in the first half alone.
Yeah, and like I said, he's on pace for a 24-18. That is scary, and he is much better at making layups than his sister is. So you can't allow that.
Don't get me started with her.
Yeah, and I think ultimately you're just going to have to get some production, and even if Rickhouse just resolves that on the defensive end, he's not going to get any rebounds, but his man's not going to get any either. Sometimes you have to do that. And, I think we've all played against players who are better than us. And sometimes you've just got to sacrifice yourself saying, okay, this guy's a bigger piece than me. If he doesn't get anything, his team's going to be hurting. If I don't get that much, my team will be fine. And I know that takes a little bit of stuff. And yeah, Andrew just noted, we've got to, they have to got to protect Morez to keep him on the floor. The best way to protect Morez, besides a blindfold for the referees, is to play help defense around him as much as possible. And I do think they've got to figure something out. And I put in the link up there a little higher up under the Illini guys. That's actually Brad Underwood's videotape. That videotape is good enough. It taught me how to teach a 3-2 zone, and we used it for 3 years in AAU to incredibly good response. To me, it was probably the only zone that you could go out there and use against a good 3-point shooting team and feel like they weren't going to blow you out of the water if you had to switch to it.
Well, to the Merez situation, Merez has to help himself. That second foul over the back, that was a call. I get it. It was. But if you know you're the only true big that they're going to play right now, and you're not going to put Jake Davis in the post and having to be put in the spin cycle against Queen, you can't make those kind of fouls. If you want the minutes, you want to be on the court right now, because he's good enough. I mean, I'm really impressed with his game. And he's not going to get the benefit out with the calls anyway, just because he's so big and strong and physical. Don't give those dudes with the whistle any reason to call stupid, silly fouls. Because if he gets in foul trouble, start the second half, it's going to be a long ride home for a lot of people down in Champaign. Now, they're down by 3 points. Go ahead.
Ked, you're a coach, okay? What are you telling Reese and Queen when you walk out there the start of the second half?
Go back to the post and punish them and make them – you either score or you get fouled. That is what I'm telling my team, because if they're not going to make adjustments, I would do high-low action, and whoever – and I think it's Rickhouse. I think they were starting off on Queen. I'm going to punish them. And because if they don't make any adjustments, why would you change? You have to be the stupidest coach in America. The YMCA biddy basketball to not make if you're not going to make adjustments. You cannot go out there and do the same thing you did in the second half unless you're making shots. If you're making shots, that's great. But if you're not, you better grind it out, and I don't care what it takes to get a win. And I'm going to say it one more time before this game starts. I don't care who's starting, who starts, who gets the most minutes in the pass. You put the best players on that floor, and I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't know, Draven may make me look stupid, that kid should be on the floor right now. He is not afraid. He's not afraid of the moment.
Yeah, you got to go with your hot hands. Folks, we are going to go switch over to let you get switched back to the broadcast. Thanks for coming on board. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter. Make sure that you go and get us on YouTube. And we will be back 20 minutes after the end of the game. We will have Eye on the Illini live. Until then, folks, go Illini.